What took you so long? Okay, guys. Hello, 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 and welcome to the commentary zone. On the docket today, we have our Bravo week in review. So, guys, as you enter the room, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. And tell a friend. All right. So, okay. So we're coming to the end of Married to Medicine. We're doing Married to Medicine, season 8, episode 12, Holi Mess. And I like this episode.
It was fun.
So, okay, I love it that Anila's parents are back. That's how we open the show.
Mm-hmm.
Did her mother say that she had to bring a hairdryer and towels to her daughter's house?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we're supposed to think that Anila, who's like a beauty and fashion influencer, doesn't have a hairdryer or clean towels?
But what the mom said was that she just likes her own things. Because Anila said, "Mom, I have like 3 hair dryers. What are you doing?"
Okay. All right. So then we see Anila meeting Quad for lunch. She wants to set up Quad with an Indian dude.
Yep.
That's the end of a friendship right there. But I
Oh yeah.
digress. We see Contessa, Toya, and Simone having drinks. Toya is just ragging on Anila. And it's just, in my opinion, I think it's because she didn't fall in line and automatically
Mm-hmm.
play foot soldier to defend her mindlessly.
Toya feels that since she quote unquote brought Anila into the group, that Anila should automatically side with her. That's really what it comes down to. I agree with you on that.
But that's not life. That's not realistic. Well, okay. Let's
But
see.
Yanni says Anila really moved on fast from Toya. I mean, Yanni, I agree with you, but it's really easy to move on from someone who's trash talking you to your friends. Because here's the thing, and I'm not sure if
Mhm.
it works in all cultures, but in for me, what tends to happen is that even though you're friends, like Toy is African American, Anila's Indian, as an African American person, you can't go and like shit talk an Indian woman to Indian people. Like that makes no sense. They're not going to side with you because the person that Toya was shit talking to was Anila's friend who was also Indian. Come on now.
Oh. Oh boy.
So you remember the scene, like the Anila and her friend were shopping, and Anila was venting, like, "Hey, Toya's been saying all these things about me," like, and the woman said, like, "Yeah, she's been talking about you."
Uh-oh.
So Toya did that to herself. Like I feel when you bring someone to the show, like you make them feel comfortable, you introduce them, and you let them make their own um, judgments on other people. And since they're
Mhm.
your friend, you need to always make sure that you present them in the best light as well as yourself. Toya knew that when Mariah wasn't coming back, you know, she really had no one. She felt she had no one in her corner. So when she was able to bring in Anila, she's like, cool. I have some people to hang out with, some people I can relate to, and then you bring in Carrie and Lisa Nicole as friends to give you even more backup. But then what happened is that one of your foot soldiers, who is a main cast, doesn't have your back. So that just sent Toya into a tailspin.
I agree with Yanni. Like that, Toya was talking about her to the entire subdivision. Let's just call a thing a thing. I think maybe the Indian friend was the only one who told her, "Yeah, you being talked about."
Oh, that was the tennis group they're in,
Mm-hmm.
and the people she was talking about was Indian. Like you can't do that. Like I said, like when you shit talk someone, you don't shit talk to them to someone of their own culture.
Mm-hmm. Now, Toya is saying that Anila is not loyal, but at the same time, Anila is telling Quad that she's loyal. I like the editing with that.
Right, and like loyalty is a big thing. It's like
Mhm.
so you could be loyal to someone and disagree to what they say, but Toya wants absolute, like you said, fall in line. Listen to me.
Yeah. Um, she said that when she first met Toya, she was different, but was she really? I think Toya, like if you do as Toya
She's different.
says,
She is different though,
she's
Debbie.
good. But if you have a mind of your own and you have independent thought, then yeah, then you get like mean Toya.
But here's the thing though. Anila, from Anila's standpoint, Toya was different because she didn't know Toya as Toya
Ah,
on Medicine, Married to Medicine. She knew Toya as Toya, my tennis friend. Two different
hmm.
people.
Okay. Okay. But do you think is to is Toya worse this season than in any previous season? Because obviously something is going on in the background that we are not privy to. Her whole attitude and her not her attitude, her bearing seems off to me.
Okay, so what it is that there's something what's going on in the background. It must be so much weight on her that she's popping her cork because like the things that she's complaining about, and I've said this in pretty much every review, and I'm gonna stick with this. Toya has been treated the same way since season one by particular people. We don't talk about it, let's talk about Dr. Jackie. Dr.
Mhm.
Jackie really has never fooled with Toya like that. She's been cordial to Toya, but y'all have never been friends. So quit acting like Jackie owes you something. You need to stop. You and Heavenly were okay, but Heavenly has never respected you. Heavenly thinks you're lazy and uneducated. And that's been consistent since day one of Heavenly being on the show. So quit acting brand new. Simone is a flip flopper. We've seen it, we know it, we deal with it. So Simone is Simone. It is what it is. Mariah is not on the show, so it's not relevant to this scene. Carrie's been cool with you since season one, okay, but she's not really on the cast. Um, I'm confused how Lisa Nicole is your friend if you talked about her and her husband, especially her husband. You dragged him through the mud like it was nobody's business. But hey, do what you do. Then you have Quad. You have Quad have been up and down since she's been on the since y'all been on the show as well because Quad really
Mhm.
don't respect you because she thinks you're lazy. She thinks you're lazy and should be doing more to help your husband. These things that Toya is experiencing are consistent patterns of behavior from the women on the cast. Nothing with that has changed. But what has changed is the pressure she's feeling behind the scenes. So whatever is going on behind the scenes, maybe feeling, maybe pushing those same buttons as she's been feeling all along, but where it's coming from maybe hitting quite closer to home. And I think you can deal with work issues as work. You can accept those. But when it's coming from home as well, it's a whole different ball game. So she's just lashing out.
Mm. Okay, interesting. All right, so then
I know that was
Simone,
sorry. I
mhm.
know that was a rant, but it just annoys me when people play victim when they've been receiving the same behavior over many years.
Valid point, valid point. Um, Simone is having a couple's dinner, but she only invites Toy and her husband and Contessa and her husband. Why?
So, um,
Are they the two
so
problem couples?
I'm gonna say in their minds, yes. I think we can see the cracks. But my issue with this is, Simone, why are you inserting yourself into other people's marital issues when you barely got through yours? And you should be focused on growing your business versus meddling other people's relationships. I'm sorry, because if we're going to believe what's out there that you're jealous of Dr. Jackie and her success, well, you could be doing the same thing. Because when you see Jackie, you mostly see Jackie working, or at her house, she only shows up to these functions and events because she's obligated to.
Hmm. I did not want to see this dinner at her house because I want to know when she's going to renovate her house.
Yanni, maybe because your friends helped her. I mean, I get it, but
Mm. But she didn't get divorced, did she? No.
no, no, she didn't get her divorce.
Toya was pivotal though. Toya
Toya,
when her and Cecil had that breakdown.
yes, but I think for me, and this is my own personal views, is that I don't believe in getting involved in marital couples issues
Mhm.
simply because what happens is when you do that, you're inserting yourself, and it could backfire. You know what I mean? Like it kind of push.
Yes.
You can't in marital issues. It's very hard to ride the fence between both people.
As a single person, yes, that is my modum operandi. I don't get involved in husband and wife business. Um, but for this particular group, they all seem to be embroiled in each other's marriages.
Okay,
They take the couples trip every season
they
and do
do.
the couples therapy activities. And I think they feel like it's okay for them to comment on each other's marriages and relationships. And it's okay to get involved because they have allowed themselves to do it.
Uh, I agree with that. I definitely see
Ooh,
your point, but
yeah. Do I feel comfortable with it? No.
yes, but my thing is this, Contessa. I mean, like, I'm sorry, but you and Toya been fighting like the last two seasons, and you go and check on Toya one time, but yet you feel comfortable enough to sit there in the seat and talk about your marital issues in front of her? Are you serious? I'm sorry. No way. Mm-mm.
But that's why I feel Contessa and Scott are just trying to get screen time.
I
The
wouldn't do it.
way how like, do I think that there are genuine problems there? Yes. Do I suspect that there might be a hint of cheaterization on both of their parts? Yes. But the way how, especially Contessa, keeps on stressing that he's having a midlife crisis, and I don't know what men are doing with regards to having other women and it's just coming off very phony and fake to me. And then you have Cecil saying, well, do you see them? They color coordinated. They don't look like that when they together. Which is it? Either you're having problems or you're not. Or is it just Contessa having the problem and Scott could care less?
So real quick with Toya and Jackie are on the show. Toya's there because honestly, Toya's there because she's been there. She's been there since day one, and she is what you think of as a quintessential doctor's wife who just lays around, quote unquote, lays around and like is a homemaker, quote unquote.
She's the title, married to medicine.
Yes,
She
she's
and the who's the lady that started it?
Mariah.
Mariah. They were the two that were married to medicine.
Like literally married to medicine, like from
Mm-hmm.
the wife point of view. Now the doctors are married to medicine because they're actually doctors.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're
So
married to their profession.
exactly. So that's why they're showing like Toya's there like because she's the epitome of the title. Jackie's there because I think Heavenly said it best. Jackie is like that great black hope, kind of like what the Huxtables were back in the 80s. Like what
Mm-hmm.
there, she's what you want a female African American physician to be. She's what we hope for. So that's why she's there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
then what was the other one I saw? So sorry. Tony and Jackie. But are they kind of friends? Like to me, no. And then and now they're like best friends. I miss when Toya and Contessa made up like that. They didn't. That's why I'm calling out the scene for being BS because there's no way that y'all go from 2 years of fighting to I'm gonna sit here and talk about all my marital problems in front of you. That's just not gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but Jackie is starting something new. She is, well, at first it was a little confusing to me because I thought she was doing a makeup line, and I'm like, Jackie? Oh, OBGYN? But once she got onto the call that her business manager set up, it's like a an SPF line
Mhm.
for people of color, and I cannot tell you how important that is. Like my mother, she has like severe sun damage on her cheeks when she moved back to the Caribbean and when she retired. And it was because she didn't wear SPF and she was not used to that level of sunlight,
Mhm. Right.
after being away for decades. So, going back on vacation is one thing, but actually going back to spend 6 months there
Mhm.
at a time is a whole nother thing. And the dermatologist told her she needs to wear SPF. She needs to wear sunscreen. And she's like, no, I don't. I'm black. But yet you do. You do. You get, no matter how much melanin you wear, please wear your SPF.
Exactly.
Um, yeah, so I think that's a good moneymaker for Jackie, especially
Of
if they
course
can
it is.
figure out not to have that chalky residue
Mhm.
in it. I would be on board for that. Um, she actually thanks this woman Angie. No, not Angie. What was the lady's name? Her business manager. I can't remember.
Me neither.
For keeping her married. I thought that was a weird thing.
I think what it is, the reason why she's thanking the person, because what it does, it allows her not to be so involved on the day to day of things like the way she used to be. That's what it
Oh,
is. She's
okay.
thanking people because she I think she mentioned something like now I can like stay married because like she's with what she's doing, she's adding a business, what she's adding people to help her with the business, so she doesn't have to be like
Okay.
so deeply involved like she is with her medical practice.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. That makes sense. All righty. Now we're on to the couple's night. We at Simone's house. She has Chef Angie preparing the dinner. Um, why Scott thought this was a swingers party?
Honestly, I thought he was joking until I saw he was serious. Like, okay. And that to me, when I realized he wasn't joking, I was like, wow.
That was very telling.
Yeah.
They got some serious problems. Oh my God. All right. So
I agree with Yanni on this one. Yeah,
I
her just
still
telling
hate
Jackie no to a baby.
that's between them. I think she waited too late to have a kid, to be quite honest. I, I don't know. I won't even get into that. That's my own personal issue. Okay, so they go to the dining room, they sit down to eat. I wasn't thrilled with the menu, but okay.
Mhm.
Um, Contessa, what did you think about the spouses up against the doctors at the house? It was like Cecil and Toya against Eugene and who?
Toya,
And Toya?
Eugene and
No.
Simone. Eugene
And
and
Simone.
Simone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my God. Look how easily I forgot about Simone. Oof, that says a lot. But yeah, what did you think about that argument? Because I found valid points on both sides.
I mean, there are, but that's when communication is important, and actually listening to what the other person has to say versus just letting it go one ear and out the other.
Or not letting it go in, period, Toya.
Mhm.
Do you think Eugene's health is a-okay? Because remember a few seasons ago, like his pressure was super up.
But
And I
remember,
think
he took
was
care of that and he lost all that weight. But I think he lost all that weight, but then the tax issue hit. If I have
right.
the if I have a timeline correct, so when you're working that many shifts and that much overtime, your health gets neglected.
But wasn't it Heavenly who said that he works a lot of shifts, and then Damon
Yeah.
was like, working ER is
Hmm.
hard.
Yes, it's the burnout. And it's heavily has said that the last two seasons. The burnout time on the ER is like it's crazy. And I was concerned for him because I like Eugene a lot.
But
I
doesn't
I
he
almost
work?
regret.
But doesn't he work really far away? So he's got commute and a stressful job in the ER,
Hmm.
and he went through COVID. I I like Eugene. I really do, but I really don't want to see her work him into the ground.
But that's his choice though.
Yeah, it could be his choice, but I don't want to see him get burned. Like, he's already had one health scare. My God. He doesn't
Hmm.
have to, like, would he have to go back to school to specialize in something else, or like, is he stuck in the ER?
So I'm not. Damon might have more education, but what Damon did, he did the ER for a while, but then he moved into. He became a director. To get out of that, and then he went opened his own practice, and he has doctors working for him. So I was kind of happy
Mm.
when Eugene was going to do his mobile doctor
Yes, whatever happened to
business.
that?
It just went away. We never heard about it again. And Toya was supposed to
Oh,
be helping him build it, and she was gung ho about it, and it just went away. And I have a feeling it went away because that's when the tax issues started to pile up on them. I'm just going
oh,
off of memory and the time. I think that's what happened. So he couldn't really.
okay.
He needed to make. He needed to make steady money to get that tax off of them. And
Right.
then we have to like we focus on the tax issue, but then we have to focus on the simple fact that they moved several times, and then they built a $3 million house after being in tax issues. I mean, I just don't understand that, and that's the main issue. It seems like Toy is making all these big financial decisions, but is not really um contributing through working. And I know they're on Married to Medicine, but if Married to Medicine were paying like that, you would have been in those tax issues, and you could have easily afforded to build your home. So when
Yeah.
people want to say, "Well, Toya's on Married to Medicine," but Married to Medicine is not paying to keep them the lifestyle that Toya wants to be accustomed to. And it's
Do you
not,
think?
I'm
Do you
sorry, real
think?
quick,
Mhm,
it's,
mhm.
it's not being mean and coming down hard on Toya. It's just putting the facts out there as they lay. And these are the facts as we see them.
Let me ask a question. Do you think that they got into the tax issue that they had was unpaid taxes, correct?
Hmm. Hmm.
So do you think it was Toya's contract 1099 position that was the issue?
Yes,
Because there's no tax deductions out of that. You are responsible for paying your taxes at the end of the year when you're a
correct.
contract worker. Um, do I think that he needs to pay taxes even though he has deductions? Yes, he's in that tax bracket as a physician. But it occurred to me, like, did she remember to tell them that she got earnings?
Hmm.
Just saying. Mm-mm. Okay, so all right, so Contessa goes in about her marriage again and how they treat each other, and he says that she does nothing, um, but she's not gonna bother him about going to counseling anymore. Like,
Right.
you saying this man tearing you down mentally, spiritually, like, but you're not going to bother him about going to therapy. So does that mean that she's okay with him doing that to her, or is she just ignoring it moving forward?
I think she's throwing herself into her work and she wants to make it work, but she hasn't gotten to that point to where she can just walk away. And you have to remember, they have three small children, so it's not as easy as we would like it to be.
Okay. How long has she been with him?
Oh, I thought it was about 15 to 20 years. I thought. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Anything else about this dinner you want to cover?
Um, no.
All right, so let's go to the party. Anila is planning her daughter's birthday party in conjunction with a Holi celebration. Um, and the Holi celebration is like a festival of colors. It's about repairing friendships and moving on and da 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 da. And basically, you throw colors at each other, colored powders at each
Hmm.
other, and repair any broken friendships that you have. It's usually celebrated for the beginning of spring, like the renewal season, spring. Everything starts fresh, starts new. So I thought that was a cute combination. And then the party. Wow. I love me some colors. This was such a pretty party. Such a pretty party. Um,
Hmm.
did Carrie say that she thought Heavenly and Jackie were the help?
She said they look like the help, or why are they dressed like the help? Something like that.
But they were all dressed in white per the instructions.
Right.
Carrie needs to stop.
Carrie's just looking for camera time to get back on the show. That's all.
Okay. Jackie's not into animals. She has like a little pony thing. Heavenly gets on the pony, and let me tell you, why is Lisa trying to start with Heavenly? I don't think they're in the same league. And Heavenly was like, I'm gonna let you have it, but just be ready because she's gonna give it back to you.
Right.
She oh, I don't understand why Lisa would pick that moment to do that, and then to get into a screaming match with Heavenly afterwards at a child's birthday party. I
That
don't
was
get it.
tragic. And see, I didn't like that because Lisa Nicole did. That was Lisa Nicole's fault. I'm sorry.
It was she started it and then couldn't finish it.
Right.
And she picked on the wrong person.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. What I did like was that Contessa said she had on a $3 wig from the Dollar Tree or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it was appropriate. The other ladies put on bonnets over their hair. They had a great time. Quad was running like her ex-husband was chasing her. I thought that was a funny line by Contessa. They're throwing the colored powder at each other. I thought they were having a good time. It was kind of cathartic. But Lisa Nicole, why am I calling her Lisa Marie? Lisa Nicole says that she doesn't think the Holi worked for the black girls. It would have if you had let it.
But Heaven should have known better too. I don't have to catch you throwing. That is true. You could. I mean, playing devil's advocate, Heavenly could have handled her later.
We all know that Heavenly, there's no delay switch on her.
Mm-mm.
Her mouth just has no cover. And that's why I say Lisa picked the wrong person.
Mhm. Agreed.
But I was watching another creator, and wasn't this who was it that she was trying to get back together? She made remember her first dinner and she was trying to get Contessa and Toya back together,
Yes.
and a big argument happened at the dinner. It got camera time for her event. So now at the birthday party, didn't she try the same mess with two other people? Who was it? Quad and Toya, with the
Yeah.
same dismal results. But again, you got camera time for your event. And more than likely, it's a tax write off. So good for you, Anila. First season in, and you already know the ropes.
Anita's saving that money.
She wants a $3 million house, so she's got to pay for it. So there
Yep.
you go. Anything else about this episode?
Not for me.
Okay, Below Deck Sailing Yacht, Season 2, Episode 13, Nip and Slide. Um, It's the aftermath of the crash. We've got I don't like these women.
Huh?
They are so annoying. I cannot stand them. They spend the entire episode bickering or overhearing the crew talking about them. And the crew has every right to talk about them because they are aggravating twats. Oh my God.
I kicked them off the boat.
Well, now that they've banged up the boat, they need the money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus. We find out that JL does not have a venereal disease. He just, I don't know, chafed his wanker.
Oh.
Yeah,
What are you doing? Okay. Never mind.
I was wondering the same thing. Or
Never mind.
how abrasive is Danny's puss? My God. Ay,
I
ay,
mean,
ay.
I'm gonna say it. Whatever. Sir. If you've chafed yourself, you will need to moisturize. You need some oil Olay hand cream to help yourself out. But I understand. But we have to remember he is a deckhand, so he's dealing with the ropes, which are rough. He probably got calluses. I mean, I'm just saying, there's stuff for that.
I wonder if he's nipped.
Mm,
Mm,
yeah, but that's doing too much. Like,
I
and
know.
how aggressive are you to chafe yourself?
But you
That
are assuming that he's doing self-service.
I mean, if okay, if Danny is sandpaper rough, you would leave. He wouldn't go back. I'm just saying.
But if he's getting it from Danny, why is he doing self-service?
He's young though, so he has a very high sex drive. He's 24, so he probably needs it like 3 times a day.
But didn't she notice that it was kind of uh, uh uh, like scratch, like I don't even know what's going on down there. But wouldn't you notice a red peen coming at you if it's on a white boy?
Not if it's if the lights are off and you're just jumping in and out. No, you wouldn't.
See, that's why I like to see the lights on. I like to do a visual inspection beforehand. Let me put that rubber on. I'm just saying. Anywho,
That's responsible though.
yeah. Because I need to do a visual and a manual inspection. I'm sorry. And we doing the dual and we doing the sack as well. And the taint. Just saying. You never know where something's hiding.
No, it's fair. Like in today's climate, you have to protect yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and it's both parties' responsibility to protect themselves.
And I'm gonna need you to deforest down there too for my visual and manual inspection.
You just got all kinds of rules.
That's right.
Do
I'm
you
not digging through the Amazon to try and find a bump or a sore. Sorry.
do you send out like rules of conduct? Do you?
Yeah, that's
I
why I'm
can see you.
single.
I can see you doing that. Like before we engage, please read this.
Don't ask Jamal.
I can see. I understand.
Okay, so Chef Natasha has a new sous chef, Colin. They're cooking for a mermaid themed dinner, and these boys really like dressing up like girls. They dress up in little outfits and wigs to serve part of the dinner. Natasha is over serving on the food now since these bitches was hungry for one of her last meals. Um, they invite Glenn to their dinner and he really doesn't want to go, and Daisy gets him out of it with a seafood allergy. How does Gary not know what is going on with him and Alli?
Because he's selfish.
Well, she finally tells him that she found out that he has sex with Sydney, and it puts her in a bad position
Mm-hmm.
because she didn't know. Had she known, she would have conducted things differently and waited till after the season, which I think is fair on her part. But pulling away without explaining it to him was dumb. Open your mouth, girl. You open your mouth to everybody else on the boat with the exception of Gary. I'm so over these young people. JL gets the confirmation. He tells Danny that he doesn't have anything wrong. It's just chafing. Good on her. She's very excited. Now she can stay. Oh, well. These women, wait, is it the guests who want the song?
I think it's. I have a feeling it was the guest.
They want a woman's empowerment song, but they've spent this entire cruise tearing each other down.
Yeah,
I hate
that was
these
that was
women.
that was completely lost on me.
So the crew is busy singing the Pussy Power song, which I thought was kind of cute. But we find out that Sydney has a performing arts background. She has been in plays. She has a very good singing voice. So she's writing it. Colin's helping her, and he plays guitar, so he'll accompany her. I have no interest in hearing this song whatsoever, but what can we do but listen?
Right.
Erica overheard Alli talking about her mom, and she's not happy. She reports it to Glenn. First she reported it to Daisy, who did nothing. Then she reports it to Glenn. Glenn goes back to Daisy, and Daisy finally has to have a conversation with Alli. They need to keep their mouths shut. And that includes Colin and Gary, because they talk about the women a lot too. Let's see, what else? They go to the beach and they have a lunch set up for the charter guests. I just feel like this is a disaster waiting to happen. Glenn is a little paranoid after the crash, and he feels that he has to be on top of his crew because they are slipping. It's the end of the season. They've only got one more charter left, and they're, like, I think everybody is on edge, and they're letting too much of their emotional dramas between one another impact their actual work. So I'm gonna need all these people to just leave the drama behind, pay attention to what your damn job is, and earn them tips.
That's the
You're
most
already
important
on a
thing.
busted boat.
Exactly.
So yeah, there's an issue with wine, and Glenn steps in and says, Daisy, if you're saying something over the radio, say, yes, we found extra bottles for you. Don't say that we don't have any. And I think he feels like he's going back to Yachty 101, and I think he wants to have this cruise season over.
I would. They're all annoying.
Yeah. And that's it. Anything else to say about that episode?
Not at all.
Okay. Next, we have The Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 13, episode 15. I think this was episode 15. Reunion part 2. I was very
This
disappointed
was a
in
flop.
this.
I don't care what no one has to say, how you feel about it. They teased us with part 1. Part 2 was a flop. We didn't need part 2.
Yeah. I did like that Teresa sort of apologized and then tried to mend fences with Evan by getting Evan and Louis together for golf. And I did like the moment that before Evan left the stage, he went over to Teresa and they had, private words and confirmed the golf day. I thought that was very adult and mature.
Of Evan.
Of Evan, yes, and dragging Teresa along in that, like saying, this is how adults behave. That's all I'm saying. I don't like Jen. I don't like the Teresa Jen party. I am here for Dolores and Frank. Although I know they'll never get back together, they are super cute. And they have a really good dynamic between each other. Only other highlight is that we found out that Joe Giudice is now going to split his time between Italy and the Bahamas so that he can be closer to his daughters. Yeah, and we found out about Louis. And Oh, Andy also brings up that Danielle Staub had a theory that Margaret started the rumor, which kind of backed up what Jen said
Hmm.
earlier, like at the end of part one into the top of part two. And Dolores kind of smacked it down.
Yeah, Dolores was good at this reunion. She wasn't letting people get away with anything, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that about her. Like, she didn't back Teresa all the way. She told Jen about herself. Like, no, you're wrong. I'm like, that's what you're supposed to do.
Like, who was your MVP for this reunion?
Oh
I
my
know who mine
goodness.
is.
Hmm. Taking into account both parts, I'm gonna say Dolores at this point,
Ditto.
and that's because of the way she handles herself, the
Hmm.
way she spoke, the way she articulated. I'm like, um, she was great. Now I'm gonna say this: Joe Gorga disappointed me because you're stupid. Like, I have no more sympathy for you, none. So moving forward, as Teresa betrays you time after time, I have no sympathy anymore because even Andy wanted you to call her bad behavior out. He gave you every opportunity, and you only lightweight did it at the end, and that was some bullshit.
But it's hard for him because I think with the passing of his dad and his dad telling him that there's only the two of them left and he has to look out for his sister, I think he's misguided in his loyalty to Teresa.
That's what I'm saying. No sympathy, and I'm gonna say this, and people may not like what's said, but I don't care about the circumstances as they lay. I'm sorry that both their parents passed so suddenly and so kind of like so close together, but
Hmm.
I'm not going to use that to excuse Teresa beating up on Joe. And I'm not going to use the A word. So I'm not sure we can use it on YouTube.
Hmm.
That's because that's what it is. So if he's going to continue to do this out of some misguided interpretation of what his father was saying, then go ahead because looking out for someone also includes calling them
Them,
out when they're wrong.
but it includes returning the favor. I think it has to, like, if especially if you're a brother and sister, it should be reciprocal. Like, he has no confidence that his sister will ever have his back, but yet he still blindly has hers. I don't get it.
And my thing with Joe, if I were him, I would check that at the door. He needs to do some self reflection. Here is why. If you continue to do this and your marriage isn't on the most solid of grounds, there's going to come a point where your sister and your wife are going to butt heads yet again.
Hmm.
And my fear is that if he continues to back Teresa in this way, he will lose his family. And I have a feeling that's part of the issue he has with Melissa working so much and making her own money. She's no longer dependent on him like she once was. So if she ups and decides to leave because she is sick of the whole Teresa mess, because I think Teresa is their biggest problem,
Hmm.
she can afford to leave him, and he's going to have to pay child support to keep them in the lifestyle they've been accustomed to living. Plus, they may even award her alimony, depending on the judge and what she asked for. So he needs to really take a hard look at how much loyalty he extends to Teresa. Because I
Hmm.
feel like he's gone above and beyond duty
Oops.
at this point, and I do like him a lot, but I'm not going to feel sorry for him any longer.
Okay, so what do you think about what Yanni says here? He fought Juicy Joe, and his parents chose Teresa and Joe.
Yeah.
And then she
Mhm.
says, remember, Teresa was wrong, and parents chose Teresa for some reason.
Mhm.
Um, I keep going back to like the when we first saw them at um I think it was his first son's christening. and they had that Melissa and Joe were not on the show yet, but Teresa and Juicy Joe went to the christening, and he had that huge fight because his dad, I think it was his dad, chose Teresa over him in some argument that they were having regarding the christening. It all blew up at that christening. And I think that's how him and Melissa wound up getting on the show, because of all of that drama that happened at that christening. This has been an ongoing thing with their parents. I wonder why they keep siding with Teresa instead of their son. It's too late to figure out now because both of them are deceased, rest their souls. But it was a very odd family dynamic that this family had. He was just
I
begging
don't
for
get it.
Teresa love. And, you know, in a way, Yanni, I think he was also begging for his parents' love. Teresa lied about Melissa being a stripper, and they sided with Teresa. But I thought that was what happened at the christening. I thought that was what happened when Melissa first came on the show, or it was just they like dragged that out. Oh wow. Oof. Talking about strippers at the christening. Good one. Nice way to get on the show. What else happened on this? Oh, the best part of this show was when they did the flashback for all the boy activities.
Yes, that was hilarious.
That was a lovely montage. And like they could play that every season moving forward for as long as this show is on. The boys on the men on this show are really entertaining and have a wonderful camaraderie that I really enjoy. Let's see. Anything else? How do you think Dolores handled her segment where Andy was asking her about her relationship with David, and where they're at right now?
I mean, I get what she's saying, but I feel like she tap danced a little bit. But I think with her, what I really want her to say is like, you know what? We're not getting married, but I'm okay with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I really want her to say. Because the way it's going, I think she knows this song.
Yeah. Well, anyway, she got a good car out of it, so good for her as
She
long as he's
did.
paying for it. So yeah, again, that was the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion part 2. It's done. Yay. Do I think this needed 2 parts? No.
Have you noticed that, at least in my opinion, I want your opinion on this, like they stretched out all the reunions because they had so little content for the season? Did it feel like that way to you? Okay.
Yeah, because I don't think Atlanta needed 3. This could have been done in 90 minutes. Who else? Dallas was solid too. I'll give them that. Dallas was a solid 2.
Dallas was good because, okay, let's be honest. The Dallas reunion was good because of Tiffany and D'Angelo. Let's call it a thing. They carried the whole reunion.
Yeah.
You had Tiffany dragging Cameron for Phil, and then you had D'Angelo letting you know, like, I'm rich. I was rich before I took the Simmons name. He was like, I was rich like this. Not rich like this. So
no, that's true. And that's why I said I will give them, out of everybody, the only solid 2-part reunion, because there were great bits in both. I mean, starting with the stupid suitcase and ending with the nosebleed. I was here for it.
And also, I think all of us and most of us who watch these shows are judging this reunion against Potomac. I think this past Potomac reunion is going to be the standard. It's going to be the standard for reunions for quite a while. The Atlanta reunions used to set the standard, and then Beverly Hills had a good reunion or two. But I mean, Monique came through and just shut it down.
Yeah. Well, Beverly Hills last reunion, I hated. But
Oh, it
that
was
is
terrible.
because I hated the entire season.
Right, right, right.
Um, but yeah, I agree with you. Like Potomac. And it's so sad because in my head, I'm like, Potomac has set the bar.
Hmm.
I don't know if they can do any better this season.
No, I mean, like I've never seen like one cast member just calmly come in, basically just shut the whole reunion down with with real receipts, like just
Mm-hmm.
shut it down. She read the people she needed to read.
Including
Bravo,
Andy.
including Andy, back and production backed up Monique with their receipts.
Mm-hmm. And
I
then
have
she
never
quit.
seen it. She thought she was fired. They asked her back. She signed her contract, but then when she saw the reunion play back, she said, "Oh no, we're not doing this again," and she quit, which left them scrambling. And the reason it probably is the reason Robin still has her job on that show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And
Potomac just. I agree with Yanni. Monique has so much more to give.
oh,
Andy shut her down. I mean, it's just Monique was just. This is what happened with Housewives franchises. This is what happened with OC. People rag on OC a lot,
mm-hmm.
but we have to remember OC was good up until about season 11. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why OC was good is because of the talent. They have some misses in there, but they had the hits covered the misses. Um, so OC lost way too much talent off their cast to replace, and they couldn't replace them. Like, oh, Heather left, Gretchen left, um, Lizzie only got one season, Peggy S left. Lydia was in and out. Wasn't a biggest fan of Lydia, but she fit into the cast. I heard Megan got fired. Eugenia, Lori. I mean, you can't lose that type of star power and then give us Emily,
Wait,
Gina,
would you want them to bring back who was the gal that was married to the baseballer? You just called her name.
Megan.
Would you want them to bring back Megan? I think she'd be a good
Only,
fit now that she's a bitter divorcee.
only she gives us dirt on Jim Edmonds and then Annie or whoever he slept with.
Mm.
If
Ooh.
she's gonna bring the mess, and then you bring back Vicky and Tamra.
You lost me with Vicky. Vicky can
No,
stay in Mexico.
here's the reason why I want Vicky back, because I want to see if she's going to gloat that she was right about Megan's cancer. No,
Megan's
no,
cancer?
no, not Megan's cancer. Megan's divorce. Megan getting divorced within the first 5 years.
Ooh,
So
okay.
Vicky can come back as a friend. She can't come back as a full time because she will never own that she helped Brooke scam.
Mm.
She can come back as a friend of, but she can't come back as full time.
Well, Vicky finally sold her house.
I know. I saw that.
Well, maybe she can get like a little condo or something nearby on the beach.
Or just do a rental.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with you. Even if she's just as a friend, she was fun at part of the fake. She really was though.
But she can't handle the friend role. We saw that. Like she's so goosed up in her head about being an OG and like she owns this show. That was part of her demise for me. Like I didn't like her
Yeah,
attitude.
you can do a lot with Andy Cohen, but the one thing you can't do is take credit for his work and take over his reunions. And Vicky did both. Andy's real particular about his reunion. We've seen that.
Well,
But Teresa pushed him, but still has a job. But hey. Just saying.
Well, that was early years.
Still assault, but you know.
Oh, he fell on a cushion.
Still assault. You put your hands on me, and we ain't cool like that assault.
Oh, Lord. Well, anyway, guys, this was the Bravo Week in Review. So we went over Married to Medicine, Below Deck Sailing Yacht, and Real Housewives of New Jersey. Let us know your thoughts. Leave some comments below. We're down to just 2 shows. I'm not sure how we're going to handle this moving forward, but we'll figure it out. Married to Medicine is coming to an end. Didn't they just do their reunion?
From if I recall the timing right, I want to say they're filming or just wrapped. I cannot
Something
remember.
like that. I thought I heard little tittle tattles about that. So that'll be coming to an end as well. And the season is almost over. There's just one more charter for Below Deck. So that'll be gone too. So we'll figure it out just as long as you hang with us. Leave your comments below. Give us that thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please hit subscribe and the notification bell. What are
Oh,
we
Yanni.
going to gossip then? Oh.
Oh, so Yanni, so what we're doing it. No, we're looking up stories and stuff. So we're gonna be doing. So basically, what we've done is we've moved all the shows to Monday through Friday live, and then on the weekends we're just gonna do TCV news with the stories, and we're gonna be we're gonna be doing it that way.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of good little articles that we're gonna go over on Saturday and Sunday. So hopefully you'll pop in and see us. All right, I think we'll have them at 2 p.m. Eastern,
Yeah,
11 a.m. Pacific.
yeah, same
And they'll
schedule.
both be premieres. They won't be live, but we'll be in the live chat for both shows.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for showing up always. We appreciate you.
Yes.
You guys make these so much fun with your insights. It kind of makes us think. So yeah.
Yeah, your comments in the chat are amazing, sometimes hilarious, and make me lose my train of thought. But we really appreciate you guys hanging in there with us all the time. Okay, Jamal, any final
Yes,
thoughts?
we are good.
All right, so until next time,
Of course.
bye.
Bye.